Well then, it's time to finish the original trilogy. Hello everyone, and today I'm taking a look at Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Now, chronologically speaking, this is going to be the end of the Star Wars saga. But we all know that's not the case anymore, seeing how there's The Rise of Skywalker coming out very soon. So, yeah. And some people say this is the weakest of the original trilogy. Let's find out, shall we? The plot of the movie is that it takes place after the events of Empire Strikes Back, and basically Han is frozen in carbonite and was with Jabba the Hutt, and basically during the first act of the movie, Luke, Leia, Lando, Chewie, R2-D2, and C-3PO have a rescue mission to free Han from the evil Jabba the Hutt, get Han back, and after they do that, they have to destroy the second Death Star by going to the shield generator on Endor, blow that up so that way the Rebel fighters can destroy the Death Star, the new Death Star, in order to destroy the Empire once and for all, since the Emperor is on the second Death Star. During this time, Luke goes off to face Vader because he wants to get his father back to the light side. So there's basically the plot of the movie. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I think this movie is better than A New Hope and is the second best of the original trilogy. It's not perfect, but I think it's better than A New Hope. There is still some issues I have with this film, so let's get them out of the way. Like I said in my last review, I have to talk about this first and foremost. The Leia makeout scene. Oh god, this scene is kinda awkward to watch, especially when you know what happens in this movie. In case you don't know, in Empire Strikes Back, Luke, Han and Leia kinda have like a rough start in Empire, and after Han saves Luke, and Luke is in the medical room, to get back at Han, Leia makes out with Luke. And around the end of the movie, Luke drops a bombshell on Leia that Luke and Leia are related. And how does Leia respond to this news? She says, "I always had a feeling we were related." So, let me get this straight. You had a feeling this guy was your brother the entire time, the entire trilogy, and you still decided to make out with him. Okay, that's just kind of awkward. And in fact, it's kind of weird because there's a great moment in this movie around the end point of the film where Han thinks that Leia is into Luke, so Han tells Leia, "Hey, if you have a thing for Luke, I won't get in the way. You two can be together if you want." And then Leia says, "I like Luke, but not in that way. He's my brother." And Han decides to not even mention Empire Strikes Back where Leia makes out with Luke. Shouldn't Han say, didn't you make out with him in the last movie? Because, yeah, that was kind of awkward now. Like, seriously. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie, but that plot point is kinda awkward when you watch this movie. And also, another problem I do have is kind of like a missed opportunity with Leia, because during that scene I mentioned, where Luke tells Leia they're related, he also tells her that Darth Vader is his father. And Leia doesn't even have a reaction to the fact that Vader is also her dad. The person who blew up her planet that she grew up on is her father. And she doesn't even have a reaction to that. And, yeah, it just really bothers me in my opinion. There's also another problem I have with this film that is kind of another missed opportunity. I feel like at first, when Han sees Lando, he should be a little furious with Lando, because Leia and Chewie forgave Lando, but not Han. For all he knows, Lando is still a bad guy, but he's all like, "Okay, we're best friends," and completely ignoring Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, it just kind of bothers me. Also, the Ewoks. I don't mind the Ewoks, I just think they're cute, but you can kind of tell these things were made just to sell toys. And also, stormtroopers get beaten by Care Bears. Like, seriously, these Ewoks throw rocks at these stormtroopers who have protective armor, and they're getting their butts kicked. I mean, I can understand those booby traps that might work, but really, Empire, you're getting your butt kicked by Care Bears. And also, it's kind of embarrassing seeing how that officer said, "I am sending my best men to guard the shield generator." And also, one last thing, Boba Fett. And to all the people who complain about Phasma's death in Last Jedi, saying, "Oh, we didn't know anything about Phasma." We didn't know anything about Boba Fett. And you want to know something? Boba Fett gets taken out in a worse way. Seriously, Han beats Boba Fett while he's blind. Like, he's just like, "Boba Fett, where's Boba Fett? Ugh. Oh, I hit Boba Fett. There he is. He's in the Sarlacc pit." Really, people, if you're going to complain about Phasma, you have to complain about Boba Fett. It would have been better if he was guarding the shield generator and him and Han had like a duel or something. That would have been much cooler, but nope. He gets beaten out by a half-blind guy. Really, Boba, your father would be not happy with you, but still. With that being said, what are the good things in this movie? Well, quite a lot, honestly. First off, the first act. It is really good. I really like the stuff in Jabba's palace, especially when Luke shows up. How he shows, the first thing he does in this movie is force choke 2 guards to death. Luke, you are hardcore, and during the battle of the Sarlacc pit, he is just mowing these guys down like it's nothing. Like, Luke, have mercy, dear God. And I also like his green lightsaber. And Mark Hamill definitely does a much better job. This is probably his best performance in the original trilogy. He has really improved, and you see the growth of Luke's character, and you really want to root for him to get Vader back to the light side, and it's really well done. And also, I really feel like the group has become sort of like a family. Their dynamic is great, and seeing these characters again on screen is fun to watch. And also, the stuff when Han is blind in the first act, Harrison Ford does a really good job. In fact, there's one funny line when they're trying to get to the Sarlacc pit, where Luke says, "I was born here, you know," and Han says, "You're gonna die here, you know." Funny. And I really like that moment. It's a cute moment. And also, I really like Chewie's first scene with Han. He's like, "Han, Han!" And like, hey, back off me, man, back off me. I just got here, just woken up out of carbonite. Pretty funny, all things considered. And also, I really like the design of Jabba. It looks slimy and grotesque, and yeah, it is pretty awesome. And I even really like the part with the Rancor. And fun fact, it took 3 different designs for them to get the Rancor right, and it is just perfect. You really feel like Luke is on the edge of his seat, and I love how when Luke shows up to meet with Jabba, he pulls a blaster out and tries to shoot Jabba in the head. That is savage. I'll give you that, Luke. And I even like how he defeats the Rancor. He throws a skull at the gate, and it crushes the Rancor, piercing it in the neck. Luke, if this movie was R-rated, you would be decapitating like 50 heads by now. I'm just saying. Calm down, Luke. Just calm down. No wonder you're joining the dark side, but still. And also, the climax of the movie is great, and there's more of a reason why the Death Star is more easy to destroy this time around, seeing how, well, you know, it's being created again, and it's almost halfway done. But, let's be honest, the best scenes in this movie are the scenes between Luke, Vader, and Palpatine. Probably my favorite scene in this movie is the scene between Luke and Vader on Endor. It's just a nice, quiet scene between these 2 characters, and I really like their bonding in this scene. And I also really like how in this scene, Luke wants Vader to join the light side, while Vader wants Luke to join the dark side. It's a really good contrast between the 2, and I really like their battle, their lightsaber duel. In fact, I think it's better than their duel in Empire Strikes Back. But I do have one problem with this lightsaber duel, and this is my only problem with the lightsaber duel. Play the clip. Yeah, that was pretty dumb. But honestly, this fight scene is still incredible. The music, the tension, the build-up, it's perfect. The motivations between Luke and Vader, it's perfect. And the Emperor is diabolical in this moment. You really feel like this is the true mastermind, like the puppet master in this movie. And also, that part where like Vader and Luke are fighting, and Luke tries to hide away, and he's in both darkness and light, shows how like he's trying to figure out should he be in the light or the dark side of the Force? And that part where Vader says, "Your sister might join me," and Luke just loses it. He snaps. He utterly goes to like destroy Vader. And that scene where he chops off Luke's Vader's arm, and then he looks at his own robotic arm, he realizes that he has gone too far. He is almost about to join the dark side if he continues. But he realizes that you should not join the dark side, and he fully decides to just become a Jedi Knight. And in fact, if it weren't for Palpatine saying, "Good, now strike down Vader and join me as your rightful place," then I'm pretty sure Luke would have killed Vader and joined Palpatine. So Palpatine, if you just shut your mouth for about 5 more seconds, then Luke would have joined the dark side. But still, and also that moment where Palpatine is like force lightning Luke to death is hard to watch, seriously. And Vader's scene where he's like, "I must sacrifice myself for my son," is perfect. He lifts Palpatine up and throws him down the shaft. This is my only problem with Rise of Skywalker trailers, bringing back Palpatine, since it kind of ruins Vader's sacrifice in this movie. And yeah, but still, it's a nice moment for Vader, and it comes full circle, seeing how at the end of the prequel trilogy, during Revenge of the Sith, he chose the dark side and sided with Palpatine. But in this movie, at the end of the original trilogy, he decided to join the light side and stop Palpatine. It's a nice character arc. And also, Vader's death scene is a nice, peaceful send-off to Anakin and Vader in these 2 trilogies. And finally, the celebration on Endor. It is a really nice moment, and you feel like it's the end. Don't get me wrong, I love the new trilogy, but if this was the ending for the saga, if Return of the Jedi was the ending of the saga, I'd be satisfied, since it really feels like a peaceful ending. And I like how during this during this celebration, we see other planets celebrating at the destruction of the Empire, and it really makes you feel like these characters have done something. I may love the Force Awakens and Last Jedi, but still, overall, I absolutely adore Return of the Jedi, and it gets a 9 out of 10. So, with that being said, join me tomorrow as we take a look at the sequel trilogy with The Force Awakens, and I have the DVD over there. I knew I should have brought it over here for this finale of this review, but still. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and Return of the Jedi gets a strong 9 out of 10, and my second favorite movie in the original trilogy. See you all later, and bye.